Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 144, where a podcast talks about pop culture things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, joined as always by Andrea. How's it going? I'm feeling far too visible tonight, but
John's like, "Oh, the light, the light."
yeah, I'm gonna figure out some. I really probably just shouldn't have messed with it and just like left it be, but
Right,
not in my
especially not
nature.
not on show day. You coulda, like, done a couple practice runs, like, felt like, I'm comfortable with it."
We're gonna see if anybody comments. Like, "John, man, the show was good, but you were so visible
I never knew
during
your
this one."
face looked like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm.
Do you remember, like God, it was right when we started out, there was a commenter who was, like, rating faces on our podcast because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
you and Chris and Tay. Was there somebody else maybe too? And they were, like,
I think it
rating
was
all
just
your
us 4.
faces.
I think it was
Yeah.
us 4, yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I escaped because I was the only girl, so they were like, "Whatever, nothing to compare her to," but
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. The internet is, not a place for the faint of heart. So, like,
No, no.
you know, this channel were to grow, um, you know, insults will be slung
That's
because it's
right.
the way it goes. So,
Right. Yeah, just the way you look, breathe, talk, think,
mhm.
whatever. So, yep.
Yep. Mhm. Well, anyways, on happier notes, it was the 4th of July. We'll talk
Mhm.
about a little bit what was happening there. Um, get into the rest of our weeks. And then, we're not really talking a lot of news this week other than, maybe talk about some new releases. And then we're going to get into a new movie, Evil
Mhm.
Dead Rise. So
Mhm.
that came out not too terribly long ago.
Yep, in
And
April.
yeah, so it just must have had a kind of short theater
Yeah.
theater
Limited
runtime, and
run.
then moving over to streaming services
Yep.
or the streaming service. Yeah. So we'll get into that later, and we'll be getting into gory, spoilery detail. So, before all that, drink holidays, Andrea.
Yeah, just a couple to kick off the month of July. July 1st, it was National Wine Cooler Day, which, if you can find a wine cooler the way that I think of them, like old school Bartles and James, good luck to you. Because I feel like they're a
Yeah.
dying breed. Um, I've
Mhm.
seen a new thing rise up um, past, what I think of as like the replacement for wine coolers, which is what I'm drinking, which is a hard seltzer.
Mm, yeah.
So the new thing now are wine cocktails in bottle. Like
Right.
wine
Yes.
margarita cocktails are like the big new thing, which I did
Mm,
actually try on the 4th of July. Wasn't bad, a little sweet for my taste. So really kind of full circle to the whole wine cooler thing because I always found those insanely sweet.
mhm.
But yeah, kind of a
You know,
whole drink circle I went on there.
yeah. Not to get too philosophical straight away, but I've
Hmm.
been like listening to Alan Watt here and there, whatever philosopher, and like he kind of has a little bit about how society keeps going towards almost where you have to wait for nothing and sort of a push button type of world. And so you're like, that's what it reminds me of is just kind of another thing that all the pre-done cocktails in a
Hmm.
can, in a bottle. It's like, don't buy the things and figure out how to make a drink and then mix it because that is difficult. That requires something of you. Just
Hmm.
buy the thing in the box,
Yeah.
just already done. Not saying there's like, don't buy these things or something like that. I'm just like, it's just one more thing where we demand the instant gratification of getting the
Hmm.
thing I want now, as opposed to having to do anything extra to obtain it. So,
Right. Right. Why buy all the individual ingredients to make a drink?
mhm,
Just buy
yeah,
a bottle.
Why learn a new skill? Why do that?
Why do that? Yes, when you can buy the skill.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's where my mind goes these days.
Sure, sure. You old fogey.
Yeah.
So yeah, so July 1st, wine cooler day. If you're a wine cooler kind of person, that was your day. July 2nd, it was Anisette Day. And then, of course, July 4th, Independence Day, which is not a drink holiday, but many people, like most people, treat it like a drinking holiday,
Sure.
which I think is
hmm
legit. Um, did you partake of any beverages on the 4th? Anything new, fun, classic? Do you have traditions?
Um. Yeah, I have. I had what I drank. I don't know if I will bring up on the podcast, just
Okay.
because it's I don't
Damn.
know. It's not a big deal, but
That's ominous
well, I
and
got
intriguing.
yeah. Well, it's commentary on current day events by what I was drinking, and
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm just leaving it out of the show, I suppose. So,
Okay.
um, but uh, yeah, normally on the 4th, I think I have a beer of some kind or another.
Sure.
And so I did do that again. And so that's what I'm doing today as well. This is I have a Three Floyds, again, world ending Pilsner. I've had this on the show before, but again, a Pilsner for a summer holiday really feels appropriate.
For
Um,
sure.
Alan, I think he last time corrected me too. He says Speed Castle. It's like, yes. So it's Speed Castle. And the descriptor, I guess, is World Ending Pilsner. That sounds like it could be the name too.
It
But
does. It
yeah.
does. Yeah.
So, I mean, but the big bold print does say
Speed
Speed Castle.
Castle.
So,
Sure.
yeah. So I've got that. Feels very fourth, very summery. But then I've
I was
also
gonna
got,
say,
oh,
I feel like
what's
both
that?
of both of our I feel like both of our main drinks feel very fourth and summery because I feel like the fourth is a lot of day drinking, and for that you need like a seltzer or a beer.
Yeah. What kind of seltzer you got there? Don't drink
Topo
any of them.
Chico.
So, okay. Where's that
Yep.
from?
That's the brand, Topo Chico.
Right.
Oh,
Is that like,
I have no idea.
'cause I
It
have
is a
seen the
trademark.
can.
It is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company. That is what I
Okay.
know.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah,
Yeah. Is this like found to be your favorite seltzer? Have you tried many a seltzer or?
I have tried many a seltzer, and this one is probably up there. I've really liked, High Noon. I thought that was a good one, and I like the newer, like, vodka seltzers. Um, which one did I try? Oh boy, it's gonna drive me bonkers. Wasn't a White Claw, wasn't a Truly. I feel like it began with a V. Oh, it's gonna bug me, but I like that one.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
I've only had probably I can count on one hand how many times I've had seltzer. So I just really haven't found any that I would want to come back to. So I don't know. I
sure.
don't know what to think of
Vizzy.
the category. Vizzy.
Sorry.
Okay.
I had to look it up. It was really bothering me.
Yeah. I mean, and everyone's coming with their own thing. Like it feels like almost every brewery is like, well, we're obligated to come up with some kind of seltzer for you to have. So
Yep, for sure.
yeah. And then the other thing I'm having, because for the fourth of well, Independence Day, I've got what I think is, generally considered the easily the most American spirit bourbon.
Yeah,
Um,
solid.
so I've got some more of my Willet bourbon. That was actually again a gift to my wife, so I feel bad drinking it. But
How dare
I
you?
know, I
Is
know.
she at least
Well,
drinking some too?
no, she's not. Okay, you wanna hear a weird funny story, I guess? So,
Yeah,
she's
always.
been well, okay, it's not funny, it's a story. This is like to bring it down. It is a
I
story.
love it. I
Uh,
love it. You, like, sold it up here, and then you were like, "But actually, I'm gonna get into it down here."
yeah. Yeah, once you say yes, then it's like, okay, alright, well,
Okay,
let's,
okay.
realign, yeah. It We have a Nespresso coffee pot,
'Kay.
and it is nice. But this newer one we have, the water tank in the back is, seems pretty thin and stuff or whatever, and it's clear. You can see into it. And we were drinking coffee, and Ashley was getting this stuff where she was getting like headaches and dizzy and stuff of that or whatever. And just
Mhm.
was like, what is this? Is this like postpartum is after pregnancy kind of thing that I'm like something I'm feeling or whatever. But then one day I was like cleaning this more thoroughly, and I saw that there's like the pink slime kind of stuff coating on the
Oh,
bottom of the water tank on the
no.
inside. And it's it's weird because the water gets cycled through all the time,
Yeah,
but I guess there's just always enough in there that, and I don't know, light hitting it's not in the sun. I don't know. We've never had that sort of thing happen. So I
sure.
cleaned it out really good, and I ran a bunch of like descaling and all this stuff or whatever, and the run's clean and everything. And but while we were waiting for cleaner and stuff, I've been using a different coffee pot, and she was better then. So that's how we kind of figured out that's probably doing it, and it seemed to be doing it. Well, now
Sure.
again, she had another cup from this and was feeling bad again. So it's like,
Mhm.
it's stuck in there somewhere,
Sure.
somehow. Needs to run more cleaning cycles. So
That
yeah.
sucks.
So point is, she was going to have something tonight. Actually, she was going to have like a can of wine or something like that. We have, but
Mhm.
then she's not feeling super great, so
Yeah,
no longer.
which yeah, why throw alcohol into that mix?
Yep.
That
Yep.
sucks.
So see how you describe the story. It's not a fun story. It is a story.
It was a
It is a
story.
yes. It's a real life thing happening. Yeah.
Yes. It's adult
So,
problems. It's definitely
yeah.
adulting problems for sure.
Yeah.
Well, feel better, Ashley. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, cheers. And now that you're all asleep, I should make a really loud noise, wake you up. Let's move on and talk about what's been going on this week. What you've managed to watch. Hasn't been a full week since we were last on here. So
Mhm. Yeah. So for me, I've been continuing on, catching up. I'm almost finished with season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I can get into season 2 hopefully very soon. And then
reviewers,
yes,
my Maki
nice
shirt.
shirt. Yes, nice
Mhm.
shirt. I feel like I would have been finished by now, but we've actually been having a lot of difficulty with our Crunchyroll app. It's been like
Oh,
it's been like erroring out in the middle of episodes, or it pretends like the middle of an episode is the end and it tries to like move to the next one, but then it can't do it either. And so it's just like, whoops, error, bye. So
is that on your Xbox or is that a smart TV app?
smart TV.
Hmm.
So
What's the you guys have a Samsung yet
ooh,
or is it
up here, I do believe we have a Samsung. Yes.
hmm, okay,
Yes.
interesting. I would try running the app, log in and run it on your Xbox or something like that because
Yeah,
I think it's a platform problem or that specific app problem rather than
probably.
versus like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have it on our Xbox downstairs, so maybe I'll try running it through there and see what,
Mm.
you know, if that is truly the problem
Or
or if it's Crunchyroll's just like having problems.
or cast it from your phone or something like that.
Yeah. I was
Probably
wondering
work.
if maybe they were having issues because the new season dropped and they were just like
Hmm.
sort of, you know,
I mean, but
maybe
that was
working
only
on
today.
right, but I
So,
was trying to watch it today.
okay. Yeah,
So
maybe. maybe they had problems for Demon Slayer
Yeah.
finale and stuff. So yeah.
But yeah, so I've been making progress. I've been trying there. I also this is like partially news release, but we can just talk about it now. Witcher season 3 dropped on Netflix, or at least the first
Hmm.
half of season 3 dropped on Netflix.
Okay,
And
first
that,
half. Yeah.
yeah, they decided to break it up into two, so it's like 5 episodes, I think. Um
Mm.
and yeah, that just came out of left field for me. I had no clue. I saw nothing, you know, advertised,
Yeah.
no marketing, nothing that was like, "Hey, Witcher season 3 coming." So yeah, so that was a total surprise to me, but I was excited to watch the first episode. I thought it was really well done, but it definitely needed some let us help you catch up because it has been a long
Mm.
time since season 2. So, could
It
have
hasn't
could
been
have
that long,
used
Feels like it, maybe.
it feels like it from where the show jumped off. Like you
Mhm.
needed not with, like, our main characters, like Geralt and Ciri and Yennefer, but for just, like, the machinations of all the kingdoms, I needed, like, just, like, a quick little, like, here's where everybody's at and who's, like, directly at war, who's about to be at war, who's, like, thinking about it. So,
Sure.
I needed, like, a little bit of something. So,
Okay.
but it was good. It was a good first episode, lots of action. Still hard to imagine Witcher without Cavill. I just can't see how they're gonna work Liam Hemsworth in there, but, you know, best of
I
luck.
I th I'm wondering if they'll make it to the 4th season. I'm wondering if I have a feeling they're just
Yeah,
gonna axe
they
it.
could just be done.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they could I don't know, maybe they contractually have some sort of obligation to more, or maybe I don't know what kind of deal they worked out, obviously, to have the rights to
Yeah,
make this. Um, but no one needs to sit there and throw away money if it's not gonna
right,
help people come back to your service, so
right.
don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like making it with Hemsworth is a mistake. I mean, I don't know, just looking at Henry Cavill, I don't know how Liam Hemsworth could, like, embody that,
Mhm.
I just don't ever see him getting, like, bulky enough or big enough, and I just like his voice, like, I just don't see him having the voice to do this. So,
Liam always
I
seems like
don't
a
know.
kid still, doesn't he?
He does, he always seems,
Is
like,
it
perpetually 16,
Yeah.
and I feel
I
like it's
mean,
because both, like, Luke and Chris seem like they're in their 40s all the time.
yeah,
Like,
they're just
you know what I mean?
adults for sure.
Like, they're young, but adults. Like, they're
Yeah.
solidly adults, but they're, like, youthful looking, I guess, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how to say that, but yeah, Liam seems like kid brother tagging along.
Yeah.
Not that he's not good looking or whatever in his own way, in a very different way, but, like, Chris and Luke feel, like,
How kind
thick.
of you.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to say, like, Chris and Luke are, like, very, like, hulking, like, thicker bodied figures, and then, like, Liam is very, like, slender. So he just seems very different body type wise to me.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, in my head, he's, like, always supposed to be in Hunger Games or Divergent or something like that, whatever, you know?
Yeah, whatever
Um,
tween romancy thing he, like, met Miley Cyrus in, something
mm,
with something with music, of course, because she sings, but yeah, I don't remember what it
mm,
was.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the contract is. I'll be interested
Mhm.
to see what the viewership does of the season
Yeah,
over time, because right now it looks like I saw somewhere they maybe lost like half their audience, but it's probably early to tell.
yeah,
Um, I mean, it's one of those things like how many people are going to go again to, for people that are paying attention to this. So that's already a certain subset. How many people are going to go to the latest superhero movie if they know it's being rebooted? You
right,
know, like
right.
why would, it's like if it feels like it's meaningless because, you know, and maybe it shouldn't feel that way. Like each thing can be self-contained, but it was sort of when the promise is that it's not self-contained,
Mhm.
then why? And so same
Yeah,
with this is like, well, okay, so Henry Cavill is here now, but he's not going to be later. And do I want to spend a whole season going through this just to then stop watching it later, not
exactly.
see it conclude? Um, so I don't know. For me, it was such a. It'd be interesting to see what you think of it. To keep watching it because season two was such a drop off from season one. It really felt like altered carbon scenario where like
Mhm.
Altered Carbon really had the budget. They had something pretty unique there. And then in season two, it's like maybe that budget they didn't feel was warranted, or they feel like they got their audience. So now they can like cut back or what. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that feeling. I'm excited for season 3 to see where it goes. Like I said, I felt like it was a strong first episode. Um, but it's just a single episode at this point in time that I've seen, so we'll see what the
Yeah,
rest of the first half
because
brings.
I thought episode one of season two was a pretty strong opening as well. Honestly, I thought we
Yeah,
were maybe
I thought
in
we were
for something good.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say I thought we reviewed it well. I think even maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then suddenly towards mid-season, we felt like there was a decline
yeah.
happening.
Mhm.
So,
Kept deviating from source
mhm.
game, um,
In not, like, necessary
necessary
or
ways.
additive ways, yeah.
Right.
Yep,
Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah. So I watched the first one, so we'll see how I feel as we keep going. Obviously, I watched Evil Dead Rise, which we're gonna talk about later, and then, we're taking a sharp left on the other things that I've been watching this week. Chris has decided that he wants to do a Disney movie a day in July with Everett. And so we're going in alphabetical order. And thus far, we've watched 101 Dalmatians. We've watched Anastasia, Brave, Coco, Dumbo. And then today felt very appropriate that it was the E day because I also watched Evil Dead Rise, but then
Mm,
switched gears completely and watched Emperor's New Groove. So
nice. Like it.
just like a whiplash from one to the other.
So, how's she responding to that? And, like,
She
I mean,
likes
it's
it.
like to watch the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
So
like one and then like, "Hey, I wanna watch that one again."
she's not asking to watch like them over again, but she's definitely like picking up on similar plot things, and she wants to know like, where's this character's mommy or where's this character's daddy, and like, oh, like the mommy and daddy aren't on screen. Where did they go? You know what I mean? So
Mm,
there's
yeah,
there's like elements of familiarity that she likes. So she likes knowing like how people are related or like where's the
sure.
grandma or whatever. Um and she doesn't always quite pay attention to like the story, but she likes like obviously the colors and the songs. Um
Sure.
and she's enjoyed like the animals and things like that from obviously all the 101 Dalmatians is all about puppies, so she was just like freaking out about that. Love that. In Coco, it was like a lot of colorful, spirit guardian animals, so she was enjoying those like kind of more fun things. Um Dumbo, she thought the circus was cool. So,
Okay.
yeah, she's having fun.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think it would matter. I don't know if I said this before. I didn't think it would matter what cartoon we really put on for the kids at this point,
Mm,
but it
but it
does
does.
matter.
It
Yeah, and
does.
so and it matters for us too. Like we, did
Oh, yeah.
Paw Patrol, and then we watched through all of Paw Patrol. So then it's like, okay, I guess we'll start Paw Patrol over, but maybe we can find something else. So we
Bluey,
put on
Bluey.
well, yeah, that's on Disney, I think, right? That's a Disney
It
thing.
is, yeah.
They buy that from whoever makes it. Um, we did Dinosaur Train because I
Mm,
remember like seeing that some, but that's
sure,
annoying, and they didn't like that as much.
sure.
So we're back to like, okay, we're watching Paw Patrol over, but I think they're starting to like be tired of that. So
That's nice.
gonna look for something else. I'm thinking, I was like, maybe we can get Super Friends or something. Is that lively enough? I don't know. So we
Yeah,
gotta
it's
find
hard,
something.
like, even kids, like, have their preferences about what they like to watch, because like, Everett really likes Cocomelon, and,
Hmm.
I mean, we could probably not play that enough in her mind, but for
Mhm.
us, we need a break. So we got into
Mhm.
Bluey, which was
Mhm.
great because Bluey's actually awesome. Um, but then I tried, like, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse just to see, like, what that hated it. Couldn't
Okay.
stand it.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
just was so bored and was like, "No, I don't wanna watch this. I hate it." So,
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, well, we'll just, keep going till we find
Yeah.
other things out there." But yeah,
Mhm. Bluey's what keeps Disney Plus afloat.
it
So
really is.
people
I
are on
mean,
it.
seriously,
It's a
like,
big deal, yeah.
that is, like, a brilliant acquisition. Like, I don't know whoever did that
Mhm.
deal, but they deserve all the
Mhm.
money because,
Yeah.
yeah, Bluey is awesome, and, yeah, it keeps people coming back to Disney Plus.
ABC Kids. Okay, that's what Alan says, ABC Kids. So that's technically a branch of Disney anyways,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Australian Broadcasting
Oh,
Company, sure. Yeah,
oh, okay, okay. That's confusing.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's you got a long ways to go.
Yep, yep, and we got definitely some letters have lots of choices and some letters have, like, one choice.
Sure. Well, I'll be a very I would do an episode, when you get to Robin Hood.
Hells
Uh,
yeah.
Robin Hood is the one that like, I, I haven't seen it in years, but definitely as a kid, I remember really liking that one a lot. And then
I
it
did
never
too.
really, like, I don't know, never got promoted and stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, I loved
but
that one, and I was one day just trying to, like, sing songs with Everett that weren't Coco Melon songs. So, I was singing to her, like, the Robin Hood and Little John are walking through the forest, like,
see, I
and
don't remember. I don't remember. Okay,
she
nice.
thought it was great because like, the chorus is, oodle lolly, golly, what a day," and she thought it
Mm,
was, like, really fun to try to say that.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
she thought it was great, so I was like, "Yes, we're doing Robin Hood."
I'm surprised because it's not bigger because I feel like a lot of furries are Disney fans and a lot of furries would like Robin Hood. So I don't know why this meshing is not
I don't know.
amounting to something more.
Well, it can
So,
start here, John. You can bring it back.
okay. Uh,
John's like, "Way to take my thing and just twist it."
no. No, all right. Well, that'll keep you busy.
Mhm.
I've kept busy with some Zelda, playing more Tears of the Kingdom.
Of course.
Um, Phil, like, I don't remember who mentioned it first, but Phil was saying, friend of the show, Phil, um,
Mhm.
that there's this show coming out called Zom 100. I think I
Yeah.
must have mentioned that I was reading this or something. And he's like, oh, I just see a trailer that the show's coming out for it because I've been
Mhm.
reading the manga for it
Nice.
for a while, but I had kind of fallen off on it. So I was on volume 5 and it just sort of hit a slower spot, I guess.
Mhm.
And I moved on to some other things, even though I was like halfway through this. So with Phil seeming interested in the anime, I just thought, well, okay, I have this and 2 more volumes yet already. Like I own them.
Mhm.
So I might as well read them yet. And so I finished on volume 5 and actually finished out pretty good. So I'll probably move on to volume 6.
Sure.
So Zom 100, it's like zombie. The idea is so it's called Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I maybe
That's
have I think I've talked about this maybe on the show or at least in a short on our channel.
It's coming out July 9th, so super soon.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I don't know. I've read it, so I don't know if I'm gonna watch it or not. Like if I love it that much, maybe weekly I can manage one episode, see how they adapt it.
Well,
But
apparently, you can also watch a live action adaptation on Netflix, of course, in August.
yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right.
I just had to mention it to get that reaction right there.
I can, I can, I can pass on that one.
What?
Um,
Really?
yeah. So this is the whole premise is like get people that are main guys working and in a job that he ends up hating. It's one of those sort of things you move out of the house, you move to the city or whatever, and you're thinking it's going to be this bigger, better life, and it's just a slog. It's
Sure.
continuous work or whatever. And well, one day the zombie apocalypse hits, and our protagonist takes it very well. It's like, wow, uh, I'm gonna make the best of it, and I'm gonna do all the things that I wanted to do in life and make sure I get them done. So he starts a bucket list, and so that's what it is. Like all the things you want to do, and the goal is to set out and try to achieve all those things before you get turned into a zombie. And so it's just a fun premise. It is uh, just silly enough. Strikes that line of silly and serious. It's by the
Sure.
same person that did Alice in Borderland, I believe. So that was a
Mm,
manga that was adapted
yeah.
to an actual good Netflix show.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And then in the beginning of every one, they put the how far he is along on his bucket list and how much he has left to go. So yeah, it's been fun. It just, like I say, a lot of things coming my way and it hit a slow spot, but ultimately volume 5 finished out pretty nicely, so I might give
Sure.
that another go. I also finished reading this is a older one, Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. So, the television show is based heavily on this and one other Daredevil
Mhm.
graphic novel. This is by Frank Miller, and it definitely feels like a Frank Miller book. Um,
Mhm.
it is my favorite Daredevil story I've read. Um, it's well done. I prefer. I like this art. I think the art is
Mhm.
has something that is attractive to me.
Yeah.
And it's gritty, grim as you would expect from Frank Miller, and I don't know, it's the kind of Daredevil that I like. So I strongly recommend it. Um, yeah, I think like before this, my favorite Daredevil was Daredevil Yellow. It's kind of another shorter standalone thing that I read this last year, but yeah, this is good. There's a few changes that they did in the show that I think were better in this than in the show, but either way, um, it's a good read. So,
Awesome.
I started reading the final volume of Justice League Dark. Um, so probably continue on that, and then watch Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, episode 1 today. So a little
Yeah.
bummed that it's not in English. There's no like now it's not on the list of simulcasts, so like simul
Mm-mm.
dubs or whatever. So I don't know what's happening there. I think that's very strange. Um, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they just said,
What do
like,
you?
mysteriously they were gonna release that later, which with, like, nothing indication, like, a timeline at all. Just like
It's weird.
it's happening down the road.
Like I don't know what they did with season 1, but because I watched all of that after all of that was done. It was both versions were already out and everything.
Right.
And normally it wouldn't be a big problem. We happened to watch season 1 in English, and we liked those voices and wanted to continue that. And I was like, okay, if there's a week delay, we'll deal with that. But right now, there's just no word, so I'm definitely not going to just not
Wait,
watch it.
yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah, we'll hopefully talk more in depth about that on Monday.
Yeah, I've had a
And
very strange, journey of season 1 starting in Japanese, moving to English, and now I'm back to Japanese
yeah,
again.
you're welcome. Yep. Hmm.
It was I mean, it was fun to, like, hear the voices for the English dub. I did
Hmm.
actually like them a lot, and I am disappointed that, like, they're just not available for season 2 right now, but,
Hmm. Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah. The season has a new director from the season one and movie, and
Mm,
it feels like that right away, right off the bat. Um, but yeah, we'll get into more later. I hope you are liking it and can manage to get it all done so we
mhm.
can talk about it all on Monday. And yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
how it's what everybody thinks of it. Yeah, that's been my week. You already talked about new release for Witcher 3. You put in here the Dune 2, the second trailer. Dune
Yeah.
2.
Dune Part
Um,
2, is coming out November of this year, and, yeah, they just dropped a new trailer for Part 2. Very
I did. Okay.
action-packed, very, like,
Okay.
you know, second rise of our hero. We're facing
Okay.
new tests of, like, uniting people and, like, rallying them. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Who's really fighting for who? You know, whose motives can we trust? So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Cool. I didn't watch this one. I'm I'm just I'm in,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in
already
for this
sold.
movie. Yeah. So I feel like I've seen enough already. Um, yeah, I'm
I
excited.
think it's I think it's a good, like, get you pumped up kinda trailer. It's very, like,
Mm,
there's not a lot of down moments in the trailer. It's a lot of,
right.
like, go, 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 and build, 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 which I think you need for a second installment because, honestly, like, people get lost in the second one, and then they feel like they come back, for, like, a third. In the classic trilogy, they're, like, pumped up in the beginning, they
Mm,
feel, like, kinda laggy in the second, and they get, like, pumped up for the finale again. So this one is very like, "No, we're not breaking from the action, like, let's just do it."
hmm,
So, I
hmm.
think it's a smart cut for a trailer.
I hope I get to see it in theater. I hope I get to see it in
Mhm.
theater. Um,
It's
I really
November.
want to
I mean,
see, yeah,
that's not
I
really
really want to see
total
Mission
busy.
Impossible too.
Yeah.
I just with how long movies are, it's like I need to have babysitters for so long because any good theater is a long ways away. So
Yep.
like we want to go to a decent theater that is 3 hours road time for the day,
Yeah.
you know. Then the
Yep.
movie's 3 hours. So
Yep.
automatically gone 6 hours without doing anything else. And it's not really
Mhm.
the movie's not really 3 hours. It's 3 hours and 25 minutes because it'd be 25 minutes of previews.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it's just all day. So
I feel
yeah.
your pain. I mean, obviously not the driving part, but, like, yeah, if you
Mhm.
wanna go to the theater, it's like a whole block of time that, people have to be committed to watching your kids in the
Yep.
plural.
Yep. Yep. Another trailer did come out today as well, actually. The trailer for The
Mm.
Nun 2.
Mm.
Um,
You are correct.
I didn't really realize they were making another one, but I did watch that, and I'm excited for that as well.
I think it's funny that that came out today and Insidious Part 5 came out today, and we're talking Evil Dead today. It's
Mhm,
like, I mean, I love horror movies all the time,
mhm,
but also they just feel suited for the fall. So it's kind of interesting that they're being, like, Evil Dead was released in April, Insidious is gonna be,
mhm,
today, right in the prime
mhm.
of July, blockbuster movie season, and then I don't know when The Nun comes out, but
I think The Nun is in September, so
okay, that feels more
more
appropriate to me.
reasonable. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. kick off the Halloween season.
Yes. Yes. Which
So,
I don't know. I mean, I guess watching Evil Dead today definitely like already got me excited for Halloween. And
yeah.
Everett put on her like skull and bone pajamas tonight, and I was just like, yes, I'm already ready. Like, let's already
Nice.
do this." But
Oh,
yeah,
I
got a
should
long ways to wait.
yeah. I should send you pictures of, I don't know where I saw them initially. I think Ashley found 'em, maybe someone, like, knitted an entire, like, xenomorph Halloween costume for their kid. So it's just, like, a entire knitted and then a predator one too.
That's
So,
awesome. I need to see
I
that.
better get working on it.
Yeah.
Better get working on it.
Yeah, you got 2.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Um, all right. So yeah, some new trailers, new stuff to look forward to. I had this question that
Yeah.
a YouTube channel posted. They always post polls, and usually, whatever, This one, I'm like, hey, this one has, could lead to some discussion.
Mhm.
So I've been sharing it around today, seeing what other people think about it, and I want to see what you think about it. So who would you choose as your
Mhm.
zombie apocalypse buddy? And we have four choices:
Mhm.
Rick Grimes of The Walking Dead,
Mhm.
Ellen Ripley of Alien, Ash Williams of Evil Dead,
Mhm.
and Max Rockensteady of Mad Max. They just wrote
Mhm.
Mad Max in here, but his
Yeah.
name isn't Mad Max. So, yeah. Anyways, those are our four choices. Zombie apocalypse buddy. Who would you pick?
Yeah. So, I feel like this is automatically skewed because 2 people are actually in zombie and, like, horror franchises. Like,
Mhm.
if you I guess Evil Dead is, like, demon possession, so it's a little bit different, but, like, the Deadites, sometimes people I feel like confuse for zombies, um, so I'm sort of, like, lumping it in that category a little bit.
Mhm.
Rick Grimes obviously literally is in a zombie apocalypse. But I'm gonna
Mhm.
take the question as if, like, you know, like, they were not already in the thick of things, like, they didn't already have the knowledge because obviously Rick Grimes, I feel
Mm.
like, he would
Mm.
have zombie knowledge, so, like, why wouldn't you choose him, you know?
Okay.
But I'm gonna, like,
Okay.
take it as outside of that, and I would pick Ripley for sure.
Okay. How come?
She is tough, she's creative, she is insanely smart, like, she has got the instinct to protect, you know? So I feel like
Mhm.
she's got, like, great loyalty, so I feel like if, we were buddies and she felt strongly about me, like, there would be a lot of, like, "I'll put myself on the line for you." And
Mhm.
like I said, she's just smart, so she would find ways to survive. She would never
Okay.
give up.
That's good. I, I've heard a lot of responses to this today,
Sure.
and I don't know where I fall exactly. So the take of going before, like, they all went through their shit
Yeah.
is interesting because, you know, you have to hope then that the situation you go through results in the person that you're expecting to have. How would
Yeah.
Ash be in if zombie apocalypse happened and not like, oh crap, I unleashed a demon,
Right,
and all
demon
this sort of stuff.
possession,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Um and then Max, like how would he be? I don't know. Yeah, it's that changes the dynamic because typically what I was thinking before is okay, if you have them sort of in their prime survival mode in whatever
Sure.
thing, it was how I was kind of looking at the question. And then the alternative is if what if we took zombie out of it and just said apocalypse, buddy?
Apocalypse. That would be different.
Yeah, so like I feel like this for zombie apocalypse, the safe pick is Rick, just because
Yeah.
he's proven, in that sense. But you'd have to listen to him talk about Carl.
Coral.
Yeah, he might get annoying, but in terms of like survival, He's
Yeah.
got it, and he would be there for you, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you could trust him. Ripley is the other thing that the other person here is like, you could trust her, you know?
Mhm.
Like you say that she would have your if you became buddies, she'd have your back.
Yep.
Um, and xenomorphs are a much greater threat than zombies, even though typically it's not a horde of xenomorphs. It's like one or a
Depends
few.
on the movie.
Mhm. But,
But yeah, so when they
yeah,
don't ever usually number in like the thousands.
yeah. Ash, I just think is too unpredictable. Like,
He'd be a lot of
he
fun, but
he
you
would be
couldn't
fun.
rely on him.
No. I was telling Ashley and Tara, like, maybe you two, if you like complimented his boomstick nicely, he'd be on your side. But for me, I don't know that he would be
Yeah.
like
Boomstick.
there for me, you know? So,
Yes. Yeah.
and then Mad Max, like if we look at him in Fury Road anyways, it's like that that person, he'd have to have I think that Mad Max is probably on this list the most technically capable one. Like if you were wanting to be in the jungle or whatever and survive,
Mhm.
I think that Mad Max is the one to do it. But at the same time, I think that he would need a good motive or reason to stick by you and
Yep.
to be apocalypse buddies.
He is very unpredictable.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So that would be tough to feel like reliant in any
Yeah.
like meaningful way on
Yeah.
him.
Mhm.
But yeah. So yeah.
So I guess, you know, for me, Rick is the safe answer, but what I hadn't calculated before, and, you know, people can hate me for it if you want, but I think I have to pick Ripley because she's a woman, and if I'm gonna have to be alone with someone for potentially years, maybe I have someone I can have some fun with and not a
Sure.
pack of dudes.
Sure,
So
sure.
ultimately, like, that's gotta be the tiebreaker here. You know, do I wanna hear
Sure.
Rick sobbing in the corner about Coral, you know, or do I wanna cuddle up with Ripley by the fire? Hmm? I don't
Sure.
know.
Sure.
So
And like you can like for Ripley, it's like she can be your cuddle buddy, but your kick-ass buddy.
right.
Like
Yeah,
she is capable.
yeah, you don't want someone you have to babysit. Like,
Right.
that's not, you know, so yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we come to the same conclusion, I guess. You know, and I think zombie or not, you know, like it's about survival skills. You know, you learn the
Right.
ropes of zombie quickly. You know, I
Right.
would think. Don't get
I
bitten
mean,
by
hope
them. You
so.
know. Yeah. Right.
I feel like with zombies, there's a little bit more like rules that you or like loose guidelines that you can sort of just like know or intuit from culture. I feel one of the things about Evil Dead is like there's no rule for demon
Yeah.
possession. There's no like exact nature of it like transferring that you
Hmm.
can just be like don't get bitten. It's like I mean, yeah, but also maybe other things too
Yeah.
cuz
Don't
not
show
everybody here
emotional weakness. You
right
know, it
like
couldn't be that.
right, not everybody here gets bitten, and that's how the
Mhm.
it gets transferred, but that's also maybe a way, so, it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, everybody in the chat, you know, comment wherever you can. Let us know who you would pick to as your zombie apocalypse buddy. So,
Mhm,
all right. Spoiler time to talk about Evil Dead Rise. So,
mhm,
in this franchise of Evil Dead, we have Evil Dead
mhm.
2, Army of Darkness. Then we have a sort of, as you mentioned, sort of reboot,
Yes,
Evil Dead. And then we have a television series
yes.
that is
Ash versus Evil Dead?
right. And now we have this.
Yeah,
So I think that's about what it is, plus a video game and, you know, some extra stuff like that.
right.
Um, I didn't realize this was coming. Didn't know much. Like I hadn't
Mm-mm,
heard that it was going to be happening.
no.
Um, Firstly, what is your history with Evil Dead?
So I have seen Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. I did not know there was a TV show, and I did not know that there was a reboot, like a soft
Okay.
reboot, homage,
Yeah.
whatever 2013 is called,
Right.
whatever it's classified as, I guess, is what I want to say.
Okay. And like, do you like all those classic movies? You watch them a lot, or
I
they kind of
I do.
yeah.
I loved Evil Dead. I love Bruce Campbell. So I thought was always like a very charismatic actor, and I enjoyed like the premise of original Evil Dead. It did descend a little bit into like slapstick gore, by the time like Army of Darkness was rolling around, but it was still fun.
Hmm.
The Obviously the point of it was never like hardcore gore like this newest installment is.
I
I
mean,
don't think I don't think the point of it was ever that. It's not that it wasn't supposed to be scary or there wasn't gore involved, but it wasn't the two were never like quite so enmeshed as they are. I mean, a little somewhat in 2013 from what I understand. I haven't seen it. But definitely in this one. They were never shooting for that kind of level, I think.
I don't know. I guess I would kind of disagree because I think that
Sure.
to me, I think th- in my mind, the point of the original Evil Dead was let's do this. Like, this is the movie we can make. It's low budget. We're gonna do this all with practical effects and make a fun, gory romp. That's how
Yeah.
I thought. I like without me like watching behind the scenes or anything like that. Um, and then with two, it's like, well, we can do that a little better. We can do a little better. And then the kind of the way people received it, it's like let's lean into that. And so it started to take this path of like, okay, this thing is really campy, and we're going to
Mhm.
lean into the humor elements and the silliness that can be found in the gore and whatever.
Mhm.
And so by the time we got to Army of Darkness, it was like full on, you know, Robin Hood Men in Tights, but with gore. It's
Yes.
like that kind of thing. And that's the movie I first came to the series was Army of Darkness. I think
You
it was
watched Army
like,
of Darkness first. That's
yeah,
interesting.
it was like, so like I was ready for that type of thing. I was like, that's, anytime I think Army of Darkness or I think of Evil Dead, that's what I think of really. Um, when Blu-ray and HD DVD were competing to see which format was going to be the next format, I
Mhm.
bought the HD DVD version of Army of Darkness because it was the one that was out. And yeah, that's how I watched that. Um, and I loved it. So
Okay.
going back and watching Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, it's like I see the appeal and I enjoyed them, but
Sure.
it didn't live up to the fun of Army of Darkness for me. So,
Sure. Sure.
and then the Evil
So,
Dead 2013 thing, I don't remember it well. I just remember it
you did
was
see it.
really gory. Yes, I saw it in the
Okay.
theater. I think Ashley walked out for a minute with like she was going to have a panic attack. Um,
Wow.
so
Okay.
yeah, it was. I
'Cause
remember being quite gory.
I could see that happening in this latest installment. There were several moments where I had very visceral reactions to things. Um,
Okay.
we could talk about those moments, but I mean, the first things that come to mind are eyeball, cheese grater, glass.
Yeah. See, but this movie took the like not so much like excessive gore as much
Mhm.
as those cringe moments like, oh no, not that, don't,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. um I mean, because the eyeball is like just a throwback, and that was to me is one of the weakest, maybe the weakest moment of the film. because it was taking that camp element of Evil Dead, throwing it in here, which the rest of the movie did not fit.
Yeah.
That was my take, but yeah, okay. So definitely
I
some moments for
agree, and also gross, though.
okay.
Like, I just
For
sort
me,
of was like, "Ugh." Like, I feel like the actor's reaction sold it, where I was just like, campy, but also like, "Oh my god." Like, it's there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just I felt it in my own throat.
eyeball soup, you know.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, Alan says MJ rated us. So that means
Hey,
MJ's stream is
Melissa.
done. We were gonna do the same if she was still live, but thanks for
Stop.
doing so.
Um, did
Um,
you see what else Ellen put in the chat? Evil Dead the musical?
I mean, why have you not seen it already?
Stop. Why have I not? I agree with
2003. It's
you.
because it was a bit
Yeah, I mean, I was
and then off Broadway run in 2006. So why
yeah,
wasn't
that
that
I
our
mean, that would have been
graduation?
my right? Right? Why wasn't that senior year of high school, our trip to New York there? Oh, stop. Well, I obviously need to see it now.
Mhm. MJ says, "Love you both. Thank you. Love you as well. Thanks for the
Oh,
raid.
love you, girl.
Hello to
The
Zay
honey
and
hive raid. I
Thermo.
love it.
Yeah, mhm. She's got a good setup over there. So everybody should go and follow MJ Honeybee. She's got quite a few followers now. She's got like really cool graphics. I don't know if I mentioned before you, but you can like use your channel points and stuff to like make a scream go off. So if things are getting kind of quiet in the game, and then a scream will go off and startle everybody. So that sort of thing is fun.
That is
They've
fun.
had a voice changer and lots of fun things like that. So uh, she says I scare every time. Yep. You got to time it just right though. So, but that's fortunate. So the game MJ plays typically is Dead by Daylight, and so our viewers are fans of that, and we're talking something that is related. I'd say Evil Dead Rise.
Mhm.
I think. I mean, tell me, chat. Tell me, is Ash in Dead by Daylight? I feel like Ash would be one playable character. Absolutely, she says. Okay, perfect. Yep. So definitely crossover there. So Ash isn't in
Perfect.
this movie, sadly.
Y
I was kind of
No,
expecting
but
maybe a
Bruce Campbell
cameo.
is.
Oh, is he?
He only does, like, a voice part. It's, in the recording that Danny plays.
That's him?
Yeah,
Ah,
he's one of the
it's so
voices
good.
there. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, yeah, MJ says we're about to get Nick Cage. Yes. That's very cool as well. Um, Nick Cage coming to Dead by Daylight. Okay,
Sweet.
so we're talking about some of the gory things. I kind of liked that they really started that way gory to begin with. And so it
Mhm.
really, let everybody know what you're in for because that was
Yes.
like maybe I thought the goriest part was like right at
The
the beginning.
scalping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
So-
I would say, yeah, the beginning and the end, they really delivered on, like, bringing you into this movie is gonna get real gory. Um, I was not
Mhm.
expecting that right from the start, and then the ending, I feel like
Okay.
I mean, I don't wanna talk about it right now because we have to get there, but
Sure.
it was a finale worthy of the start of this movie, I think.
Yes. And I feel like that was very appropriate for Evil Dead.
Mhm.
So some things that are different here, the movie starts out and showing us a cabin, and so but it's kind of a fake out. That
But it's
typically you.
but it's a great homage to original Evil Dead, which is like
Yeah,
5 kids it's classic premise, 5 kids getting away at a cabin.
yeah, right, absolutely. So I was okay with the twist then, with
Mhm.
flipping the script in this case because they did a good job. I mean, it's not common to be and it's why I often don't like modern horror movies as much, or I should say horror movies that are set in a modern time, because you have to find those ways to take out the cell phones, take out the electricity, take out something,
Mhm.
automobiles. Like you have to remove a lot of those things
Right.
in some fashion, often to make things scary. And I thought they did a good job of that, of setting kind of the situation we're in. And I don't know, what do you think about having in a like a apartment complex in a not very good part of town?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I love the way that the movie opened and then, like, Tarantino'd itself backwards into, like, the day before. We're in, like you said, a not great part of town. Everything's already run down. Everybody's like, the building is being condemned. So we get like, hey, we're in shitty conditions. Hey, there's not a lot of people here because they're already moved out. So there were a lot of very logical setups and very just like, okay, this makes sense for like why like this apartment building isn't very populated. Why, the people can't get cell service because,
Mhm.
not great part of town plus earthquake. Totally. Like this setting was spot on.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, I agree. It was like, and I like the way it was shot. They kept, because I don't know, is an apartment complex that creepy or whatever? But I think that they
Mhm.
kept the shooting pretty dirty. They did a lot of
Yeah.
things out of focus. They kept it grim. They
Mhm.
I appreciated the cinematography for the movie as well, that I thought
Mhm.
was above some things that are coming out these days. So I like that, added to the atmosphere. Um, I had to note pizza is fine. Drop the pizza, so what? Right? Yeah, the pizza boxes, you drop the pizza. Like, if you're gonna
Right?
throw away that pizza, they were eating it out of the box there. Like, bring the mushed up pizza back to the place.
Um, I didn't really think about that terribly much. Actually, what the no, what the pizza scene reminded me of, and it was like the note I made at the time, and it's kind of also on the technical side. I loved the sound for this film. Sound engineer,
Mm.
excellent job. Everything felt very heightened and visceral, but in like a great way. Like the squelching pizza off the box was like, whoa. It's just like I could just like hear that sound and like know that they were like peeling the cheese off or like um the DJ set in the beginning, like the old records, like the voices there, the elevator scene with like, the demon attacking Ellie, like all of the sound that was happening in all of this, like or eating the glass, like when Bridget eats that glass, it's just so sharp and just like punches you in
It
the
would be
gut.
sharp. Yes.
Yes, like eating the glass, yes. But stuff like that was very just like they really, like, leaned into, like, you're hearing what's happening too.
Mhm.
So, I just thought, like, the sound mixing was great.
Yeah, I my only complaint with the sound was the shotgun shells. I, like,
Oh,
noticed
sure.
that when they were, like, picking up some shotgun shells, they made the sound of empty shells.
Yep.
And so either you were making a mistake and you're picking up empty shells, not gonna do you any good, or, um, they had the wrong sounds. So,
Sure.
um, but yeah, I like that this movie had I like when horror movies have all those little foreshadowing moments that you notice, and then some you don't. Like, immediately, scissors goes under the couch or bed or whatever, scissors are gonna be used. Okay,
Right.
that's coming. Um, the, see, the one I didn't, like, think of that was a good usage was the kid is a wannabe DJ or whatever and spinning records,
Mm,
and
sure.
then finds records, and the whole idea is you gotta run him backwards. He's
Yep.
sitting there playing it. It's just like that worked well, I
Yep.
thought, um, and without feeling like forced or something like that.
Mhm.
Let's see. I thought there was some other foreshadowing.
The elevator.
Something else. Yeah, I don't remember what that was exactly. Oh, well, like with, swimming. So, like,
Mm,
I don't like being underwater,
I
and
wanna
then you're
see.
caught in
Yeah,
the yeah, then you're caught in an elevator of blood, so
right.
submerging you. So, I like all that sort of thing.
As a framing context to go along with this, I really liked, so obviously we get like the opening of the movie, we meet the mom and her kids. There's the earthquake that opens up the bank vault that opens up to, hey, we found the book. Um, and we're gonna take it back and try to open it and read from it. Classic stupid kid,
Yeah, mhm,
like, oh, this is so cool. I'm gonna open this strange thing up that has claws on it and just read it. Oy. But once once the book was open, I really liked flipping the pages around to different
mhm,
scenes to show us what was coming.
yeah,
I thought that really worked as this, like, creepy guide/foreshadowing slash foreshadowing framing to, like, here's what's gonna happen to the mom, here's what's gonna happen to, Bridget, her kid,
mhm.
as she turns 2, here's what's gonna happen in the elevator, and the finale creating that what I'm calling a demon corpsepede. Oh god, that was sick, but it was amazing. So, yeah, I really whoever, again, thought of, like, flipping around in the book to show us what was coming,
Mhm.
great job.
So I feel like we got plenty of flipping, pages going on stuff like in past iterations, but I
Yeah,
don't remember it showing us anything specific like that, like
right,
giving us what the next curse or anything like that's going to be. And maybe it's
right.
something I'm missing, but I agree. I like that a lot as well. Um, the whole way that the book was and the recordings with it, I just liked all that stuff. I thought that was good.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody's, like, skill set sort of, like, lent itself to, like, obviously, like you were talking about, the son being a DJ, so he, like, finds the records and plays them, but then, like, the aunt, the traveling aunt is,
I'm an
sound
engineer.
engineer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Okay, well, I can work this too and figure it out even though we have no power, like, maybe this is gonna help me." It
Yep.
felt okay without it being forced.
Yeah. hmm Yep. Because you're still like everybody's gonna die. Like it wasn't like just getting
Right,
a win-free card, like a get out of free
right,
jail card or something like that. It was
right,
still everybody's in trouble.
right.
Um,
You just know a little bit more about the trouble you're in.
yeah. hmm Um, the mom was really creepy.
Oh,
She
so
did a
good, and, like,
great job.
the physicality she needed to do that, oh, A plus plus, like, just the way that you would have to, like, contort yourself to, like, look like bones cracking and, like, crawling all around ceilings and in tubs, you know,
Yeah, it'd be
shuffling
interesting to
around the
see behind the
hallway.
scenes how much is
Ugh.
like practical and not. Yeah.
Yes, I
Mhm.
mean, obviously some of it is more effects, but, like, even just, like, shuffling around the hallway and, like,
Yeah.
leaning up to the door and just, like, the physical way that you would just have to move
hmm
the upper half of your body to be seen through the peephole, like, that's what you have to do. That's not an effect. So,
Yeah. It
good
was
job.
interesting because she had she's a really unique face, but
Mhm.
enough like her sister that they
Yes.
really did look like sisters.
Yes.
And her unique face really did lends to like being freaking creepy when she wanted to
Wide
be. So
smile. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, hey man, Joker here. This is
Yes.
so I
Jer
I liked
J
her. I thought she was
I'm
great.
gonna hot take it, Jared Leto wishes.
Whoa, whoa, his cult's gonna come for you. So
I
yep.
know, throwing bombs, man. But,
hmm
yeah,
hmm
no, I completely agree, like, just the construction of her facial features with, the effects that they put in and the makeup that they did. So creepy.
I put myself in their shoes and I'm just like, if I discovered records and this is what played on them, just holy shit. That's just like the creepiest thing. I mean, just that scenario or whatever, you'd be like, someone's playing a joke on me, whatever, this is fake, but it would be creepy as hell. So I like that. I would say though, I am smart enough to know that if there is anything completely surrounded by crosses,
Yeah.
dozens upon dozens of crosses, I'm not touching it. Like,
Yeah.
religious or not, like, superstitious or not, just maybe we should wait a minute. Maybe we should pause and not someone thinks this is bad. I don't know. That's so,
It
yeah.
always feels like a mistake to read from a book that's buried in the earth. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
I mean, most books of time have been burnt or probably buried of earth, in the earth. It's I won't
I don't know, man,
tax records, the
but,
Dead Sea
stuff
Scrolls. That's.
that's, like, buried in there and, like, guarded. Like, this thing was in a bank vault, like you
Yeah,
said, surrounded by crosses, or, like, I think about,
yeah,
like, one of the running jokes in the Mummy franchise is, like, "No harm ever came from reading a book, like, look how that turned
yeah.
out."
Mhm,
Dude, like,
mhm.
let's stop finding books of the dead and being like, "Open it up, what's inside?"
Yeah. Yep. It's
Dead stuff.
like, I mean, you can take the message of like, yeah, the mummy is sort of, well, don't read anything, or it just be like, words are powerful, and so,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
it's their own, like, running gag of, like, "Look how the
Mhm.
last time reading from a book
Yeah.
turned out." But
Yep.
yes.
I have to say, talking about that, as a kid, I was disappointed to see that the actual Book of the Dead is just like pages. It's like
Oh, sure.
scrolls. It's
Sure.
not a book, you
Sure.
know? So, let's see. Um, yeah, I liked I didn't see how the possessions were gonna go exactly. I was
Mhm.
surprised that, like, the neighbors were nice and trying to be helpful and all this stuff. Like, there was just kind of a nice grouping cast of characters, and I was shocked that they all died so fast,
Yeah.
you know?
They're just gone.
I was surprised. Yeah, I thought for sure one of them's gonna be that would be one of them's alive, yet they're gonna
Mhm.
grab onto someone's leg and save someone give them a
Yep.
moment that would be a typical thing to do, and they didn't
But
do it.
no. No.
So,
No, they were all dead and they were all creepily chanting "Dead by Dawn." That was
yeah.
also, like, just a great moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Like, there were some subverted expectations here. Like, there were some classic things, like, um, I felt like singing always happens when somebody's, like, possessed or evil. It's like a
Mm.
sign, and it was still
Mhm.
creepily effective, like the mom singing all the time or, like, pretending she was okay until finally the kids were like,
Mhm.
"Nope." I felt like the movie did a really great job of giving you maybe some hope that the mom was gonna be saved for a little bit there, you
Mm.
know? Just because the kids were all hopeful and, like, the aunt was
Sure.
like, "Oh, bring me the records, like, maybe there's something on there," and it was like, "Maybe." But,
Right.
there was a
Yeah.
point when, like, they all realized, like, "No, we're just kind of effed here,"
Yep.
including mom.
Mhm. I was definitely wondering how they were gonna get to the next day. Like, how was that?
Yeah.
I didn't and so that thought that worked well. Parking lot, little tidbits left over, get
Mhm.
affected by it because no matter what, it's coming back. So I like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
there was something to, like, the recordings, saying, like, "There's no hope," like, "I tried
yeah,
fire, I tried this, I tried chopping them up, I tried," all of these things, and I just realized now we're all just screwed. Like,
yep,
everybody's, "I can't get rid of this, and there's no magic solution."
yep,
So that was definitely, like, a hopelessness, but yet, we obviously wanted the aunt and the little girl to survive.
yep. Mhm, mhm. Yes, they all went through lots of pain. That was good. Lots of, almost eyeball almost stabbed. We talked about cheese grater, all this sort of thing.
Oh my
I just
god,
as
a
soon as
cheese
that song
grater
grabbed the cheese grater, I was like, "Oh man, there it's coming." That would
raked on
be
your
that'd be tough.
leg. Oh god, I just
Mhm.
felt that because, like, you've definitely, like, grated cheese or a vegetable or whatever and like gotten like a little bit of your finger on there and you're like, oh,
Mhm,
so just to
mhm.
like have that feeling raked down your leg. Oh
Then you feed
God.
it to your guests, and you're, like, just smiling in the
Woof.
corner like you're eating part of my flesh, and you don't even know it. Is that what you're doing,
Oh.
Andrea? The
Yep,
yeah.
totally.
Um, my other, like, larger picture complaint is, um, I just don't know that this needed to be an Evil Dead movie. Like, I was talking to some other people today too,
Mm,
um, Luke and one of his friends and stuff, and, that was like, should Evil Dead be a franchised thing? And, like, well, it clearly is a franchise thing now. They've made it
right.
one, but it is a little odd, and, like, I would have put this movie up a couple more marks, I think, if it was just an homage movie and it took
Mm,
heavily from The Evil Dead. Because it would
sure.
have given them the freedom to maybe veer out a little more if they wanted. Like, being it's an Evil Dead thing, you can't go too far, or risk being people like, this isn't Evil Dead.
Mhm.
But you could still have all those moments. You could still have the, like, instead of branches, you have the wires of the elevator coming in, tying someone up. You could
Right.
still do the I'm completely covered in blood. You could still do the eyeball gag. You could still do a book or something you read from that, cause all kinds of chaos. You could do all those things and not call it Evil Dead,
Sure.
because we don't have the cast back and that kind of thing. And we also had call outs to other movies. Like, we clearly did The Shining with
Mhm.
the elevator of blood. And then it was very much like Jurassic Park. Those were the two anyways that I caught, at the end when they're kind of crawling around the car and you see the feet like on the ground.
Oh,
It's very
oh,
sort of like the kids in the kitchen,
I see.
behind the counter. Like, that really seemed like that to me. So and there was probably a number of other ones that, like, I didn't catch or whatever. So to me, it was just worked well as sort of an homage movie in general,
Mhm.
and you didn't need the evil name attached to it. So,
Mm. I don't know. I feel like I don't, like, passionately disagree, but I feel like it was a nice homage to some moments of the original, and maybe if they're gonna take it somewhere, like, if they are gonna, like, reboot it as a franchise, like, not a bad first beginning. If this is a solo movie, I agree with you more. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? Like, I would agree with
sure.
you, this could just, like, stand stronger on its own and just, like, kind of have homages to many movies, but still be its
Mhm.
own thing. Yeah, but if we're gonna actually, like, go further and bring back Ash and, do some of that, then this is great.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, obviously, but I
Yeah.
doubt that's the case. I think the TV show was Ash's last hurrah.
Last
That would be my
last
guess.
hurrah, last gasp.
Yeah. Mhm, mhm. And people, to my understanding, really like the show. So,
Yeah,
it's great.
I'm very interested to know, um, if they're,
Lucy Lawless is in it.
in the Evil Dead TV
Yeah,
show? Shut
yeah.
your face. Oh my god, I
No,
have to
he's
watch
like a
this.
central character.
I
He's
have
not
to
just
watch
some
this.
Xena Princess Warrior, Battlestar Galactica alum is in this show with Bruce Campbell
Wow.
that people love. So I watched the first couple episodes, but it's on a service typically that I don't have. I think it's Showtime or something like that.
Okay.
Um, and I would just buy it, I guess, and watch it. But um, yeah, missed out on that.
Let's see. Okay, we've got an interview with Bruce Campbell. Yeah, it sounds like they're gonna do more. If you're talking to Bruce
More of a TV
Campbell,
show
um,
or
more
more
movies.
movies? Okay. Well, I mean, he was like executive producer of this, and like you say,
Right.
also did a voice. So I want to
Yep.
hear that voice again now. But
Yeah. So, I mean, if this is truly the case and this is really happening, and not that I think it that like Bruce Campbell wouldn't know if it was, but just obviously
right.
like studios can pull deals and just be
Yeah.
like, actually forget it. But if this is truly happening, then yeah, I really like this. I think this is a great first installment in like a new series for Evil Dead.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I didn't have a lot of expectations going in because I don't remember loving
Mhm.
the 2013 one, and I missed the TV show, and it's just like, yeah, it's something that I didn't really think needed to be a franchise, but I enjoy this movie a lot. So, um, yeah, I thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. Also,
Two
I feel
eyeballs
like
spit into mouths out of two.
all 12 arms of the demon corpse appeared up.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Cool. Any final thoughts on Evil Dead Rise?
Um, yeah, just like overall, like you said, I really enjoyed this movie. Weird to me that it came out early in the year, but kind of getting me pumped for like Halloween season already. And so I
Hmm.
hope that we have really great stuff coming this fall. Cause yeah, I love me a good horror
Yeah,
movie. And this is a great one.
nice. All right. Well, that's been Podcast on the Rocks, episode 144, and our thoughts on Evil Dead Rise. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all those sorts of things in the applicable places. We're on Twitch and YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and podcast directories like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Reviews on those services are much appreciated. Make sure that you check out MJ Honeybee on Twitch. She's getting a good following going there. We're talking horror now. She plays a horror game, Dead by Daylight. We thank her for the raid and jumping in here. It's much appreciated as well. So, Killing the Flower, they wrote our theme song, so make sure to check them out. They're on YouTube and Instagram and music streaming services. And then our next show, if everything goes to plan, should be on Monday. It'll be the anime show. It's been a little while since we've had that, being Demon Slayer wrapped up. We will cover like different kinds of shows and stuff on there, but the plan is to talk about probably what we all think of Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 and the movie. Kind of get our thoughts and where we're at and everything, and then our first impressions and our thoughts on the first episode of the new season that just came out today on the 5th. So, or wait, so it's 5th or 6th? 6th.
6.
6th. So, yeah. I think that about do it from us. And Andrea, thanks once again for joining me.
Of course. As always, cheers, everybody.